We're here with Tom Skerritt, and obviously it's such an honor having you here at the Key West Film Festival, and obviously celebrating celebrating Alien 40th anniversary. And we would love to know, one of the questions that, kind of riffing off of what David was talking about with you, leading ladies. And I think a lot of the roles that you've been, and obviously you've been in Steel Magnolias and some films with some really strong leading ladies. What are some of the things that you've learned from working opposite some amazing actresses? Or what has drawn you to those roles? Is that one of the reasons why you've taken those roles?
You know, it's difficult again. Like I say, somebody comes up to Dizzy Gillespie, trumpet player, and they ask him, what is jazz? Tell me what jazz means. Right. And he says, oh man, if you don't know, I can't tell you. It's really hard to say how these things come about. You just pay attention, absorb them, and somehow or another trust your instincts to drive your impulses into what ultimately the best of what you can do.
Yeah.
And the more you do that, the better you become. So it's always not about how great a performance or how good will this be for me career-wise. I don't take it in that way. It's about just the more you take in, the more you have. So it's
that makes sense. That makes sense.
That's all I've been doing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to specifically apply it to watching another actor or another director or writing, but I've done it all.
Yeah.
All those things. So all I know is that they have all fed me, and these questions that you're asking me feed me more, because I'll go out here and say, well, what I should have said. You know, that kind of stuff. You never allow yourself to think you've done it all.
Yeah. Well, talking about all the amazing experiences that you've had, can you remember, is there a scene that, you know, you get put in these situations, and I'm myself as a film director, you put people in those situations, and sometimes as a director you kind of just let things go, and you kind of are on script, but then you're like, you work with these amazing actors, and when you see them create, you kind of sometimes as a director say, I'm going to take a step back, and I'm just going to let this just happen. Was there a scene that you remember working for one of these amazing directors that you just really enjoyed because it maybe went in a different direction with the actors that maybe didn't seem the direction it was going to be on script, or you kind of were, whether it was riffing off of another actor or yourself, just kind of went with it? Is there a scene that kind of stands out in your mind that
I don't think a
you had fun
particular
with?
scene. I know that as far as an actor is concerned, the best I've been able to do as an actor has been in theater. When I've done Broadway and some other things since then. But again, it's all a learning lesson. So you go out there with theater. I would prefer to say it's theater over a film, because it's hard to say. I always feel I'm just part of a painting. I mean, that's the way I see it all. I'm not the movie star thing. I don't know what that means, basically. It's too specific. I think we're just part of a painting. And particularly when you're working with somebody like Ridley Scott, you're just a member. You know, you learn from what you see ultimately.
Right.
You learn from this how to frame yourself. Okay, this actor would, or this character would be doing this over there, maybe over in the left corner of this thing, and you talk about that with your cinematographer. So what it lends you on. If you know all this stuff, you just know how to apply yourself physically in the situation. But as far as wonderful scenes in film, it's all edited. You know, a lot of the good stuff has to go. And I really understand that. And in the editing process, if it doesn't move the story along, a great performance can have to be
put aside.
Sometimes, you know, and that's something you really have to. So you can't go in here effectively with the game.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is. Just simply enjoy the ride.
Yeah. No, that's great. Well, I have one last question, because I know...
I don't know if I answered your question.
No, you did. And, you know, one of the things that obviously transitioning through, you know, in your career, and obviously being directing, writing, acting, and now obviously you're very involved with Hey You Media now, promoting the film industry in the Northwest, in Washington State, you know, where you live. And like, I just want to hear from you, like, what are the things that you feel are so important for bringing film now, more film to to that area, you know, because obviously there, you know, New York, and there are certain, you know, there are certain places that have managed to pull Vancouver, a lot of film industry dollars, and just obviously the beauty and the obviously the things that the resources that you have there, you know, why it's so important to bring film to more to the Northwest. And
well, first of all, it's the most influential of our media. And Northwest itself has creative input everywhere you look. The mountains, oceans, watching an otter climb on the neighbor's deck, you know, and
right.
all this stuff, and an eagle flying by with a fish in its talons, you know, and there's Dad going home with dinner. All the stuff that you see in life is really what adds to the creative output. And
right.
as far as the Northwest is concerned, and as far as the film is concerned, it's changing so much. I really can't talk in past tense about it. I mean, I've been there, I know this, I've seen studios function well, and I've seen them not so, and now we're in a situation where it's iPhones and iPads. And IAU Media is looking at that. That's what I've been thinking about for a number of years.
Do you feel there's more of the industry coming now to, are you seeing a little bit more of a...
No, they don't have a good enough incentive in the state of Washington to really draw them in. But they have the talent there.
Yeah.
They have more successful storytellers there than anywhere else.
Well, and create good content there to show everyone.
Well, the books, the novelists, storytellers.
Yeah.
All storytellers. We're all storytellers. And taking photos, it's a story.
Yeah.
And each one of us has a different view of life, a different vision, different approach to it. And if they stick with that themselves as they evolve as a photographer, you just become one of these that's sort of noticed, and you start moving up.
Right.
And I think it's just all about how much you put into it, whatever that is. And but the film has to change from. It has to go to iPhone, iPads. And so you can make a film, but you can also cut it up into something.
Well,
so,
and I think your point is really valid. I mean, about storytelling, because so many people now can be storytellers. And I think the industry of old, it was very difficult. You know, there was only a certain amount of people that were privileged enough to work in the industry, and now I think there's access now to people, like you said, whether it would be an iPhone or a camera, that can now try and tell a story, wherever they may be. So I think...
Yeah, you don't need much lighting. You know, you got these digital cameras.
Yeah.
And these lenses, all this stuff that you can shoot whatever you want, whatever.
But you need a good story.
And you don't need a good story. Always got to have a good story in front of that lens.
Yeah.
Somehow or another.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, we're so thrilled to have you here, and obviously congratulations on the Golden Key Award, and you know, continued success. I can't wait to see the next thing that you're in. One thing I'd love for you to do is just look to the camera and just say who you are and that you're here at the Key West Film Festival.
I'm Tom Skerritt, and this is where I am.
That's great.
Key West Film Festival. There's some good stuff here.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure and an honor. Take care. Have a
Oh, my
wonderful
pleasure,
evening.
man. My
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You guys